Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building. And before we get started with this video, I just want to say thank you, God, for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm going to be showing y'all how to create the first ever pass first big with big man contact dunks, pro dribble moves, and we're going to be able to get 81 total badges out of this build today. Now, from playing on this build, something that I really was surprised about was how smooth that we're able to dribble. Now, when it comes down to being able to finish at the rim, we're definitely going to be able to be pretty special out of this area. We're going to be able to get the potential of a 99 standing dunk. Then when it comes down to the defensive end, we'll be able to get a 99 block. And then out of the playmaking, we're going to be able to get a 100 plus pass accuracy. Now, as we get into the breakdown of this build, you're going to be able to make any changes and adjustments as we go throughout the build making. But I promise you, I made it exactly how I wanted to bring it to y'all when it comes down to the animations, the badge count, as well as even the height, weight, and wingspan. So I'm guaranteeing y'all that this is going to be the best version that you're going to be seeing out of it this year. Now, again, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Turn on post notifications because I'm uploading every single day, and I definitely want y'all to see the content that I got in store for y'all this year. And last but not least, man, if you have not done so already, be sure to smash that like button. Now let's get started by putting this build under the center position. Now you need to be sure that when it comes down to the breakdown of these physicals, that you copy it exactly how I'm bringing it to you, especially if you're looking to get the 99 plus block, pass accuracy, and the standing dunk. So I did see this build created before at 7 feet exactly. I'm going to be going with 6'11". Now when it comes down to the weight, I like the lowest being 215, and then for the wingspan, I'm going to go with 7'9". Now if you want to take up the most space on the defensive end, I would consider going with the body shape of builds, but that's really my own preference. Now once we go ahead and get into the breakdown of the attributes, let's go ahead and first get started with the physicals. So for my speed, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a 79, and that's going to be maxed out. When it comes down to the acceleration, go with the 72. Now for the strength, you can really put this to your own liking. I'm going to bring this up to a 71, and then since we're going to be able to get the pro big man contact dunks, go with at least a 60 and above vertical. I'm going to go with the 75, and then for my stamina, I'm going to bring this up to a 90, and we're going to be all set to go. Now let's go ahead and get into the playmaking. I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of a 92. When it comes down to the ball handle, we're going to be able to get some of the pro dribble moves, so put this to a 70, and then for the speed with ball, if you want to max it out, you definitely can do so, and that's what I'm going to work with. Now when it comes down to the pass accuracy, if you want to be able to get 21 badges, all you need to do is go with the 93, and then you're going to be set to go from here. But overall, out of the playmaking, I did show y'all what we're going to be looking like when it comes down to dribbling, and honestly, when it comes down to the badge layout that I show y'all for each of these 4 areas, I think this build is going to hit perfectly, especially when it comes down to the playmaking and the pass accuracy. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and get into the shooting, and this is definitely going to be one of the strongest areas out of this build as well. So if you know how to shoot this year, and I know a lot of people don't know how to yet exactly, this is going to be the perfect build for you. You have just enough to be effective from deep, and as you can see right here with the mid-range, I did go with the 75. Three-pointer, 79 with a 72 free throw. Now, when it comes down to the free throw, my threshold for any build that I'm going to be bringing y'all is going to be 70 and above. Now, I just want to throw a quick tip out there to anybody who's making a build. When it comes down to the free throw, I think the minimum that anybody should be going with is going to be at least a 70. Now, if you go anything higher than this, you're going to be perfectly okay. But going further into any build making, I want to be sure that I'm bringing y'all builds that aren't going to be limited to 1 or 2 game modes. I'm going to be sure to bring y'all builds that are going to be able to be played in every single game mode that's going to be dropped in the future. Now, when it comes down to the defensive end, I'm going to go with the 72 for my interior defense, 67 for the perimeter, 92 for the block, which will allow us to get a 99. Then for the steal, I'm going to go with the 73. And then for the rebounding, 78 for the defensive, 71 for my offensive, and right there, we get a total of 24 badges. Now, out of the badges that we're able to unlock for Tier 1, I'm looking at Challenger, Glove, and Interceptor. Then for Tier 2, we're also able to get Chase Down Artist on Hall of Fame. Now, you can clearly see that when it comes down to the defensive end, we're going to be able to hold our own, and I feel like out of the tiers of badges that we're able to get, we'll be able to spread the wealth if you do decide to go about the badge layout other than what I show y'all today. Now let's go ahead and wrap this build up when it comes down to the finishing, and I'm telling you, when it comes down to this badge layout, one of the best all-around center builds that I have been brought to y'all all year. Now, when it comes down to the standing dunk, I'm going to go with an 83. That right there alone will allow us to unlock the pro big man contact dunks. Now, for my driving dunk, I'm going to go with the 79. 78 for my driving layup with a 74 close shot. Now, if you want to, you can go with either 17 or 18 finishing badges. Then when it comes down to the playmaking, you can go with 21 or 20. Now, however you decide to make this build, it's not going to make a difference. Just make sure that you base it off of your own play style. Now, the number one thing that I think is going to be the most important is that you keep the physicals as is, and if you want to change anything, the one thing that I would do would be to raise them, not lower them. Now for the speed, this is going to be essential. With Gym Rat, you're going to be able to get anywhere from, I would say, like 82 and above for the speed. Now that's if you don't make any adjustments. For the strength, we're going to be perfect. This is going to go up to a 75. And then for the vertical, I think this allowed us to be able to grab boards, especially when it comes down to the badges that we did unlock. Now with this build, yes, we're 6'11". It's going to remind me low-key of a 2K19 stretch big, but we're going to be able to do a little bit of everything. Now when it comes down to the pass accuracy, if you want to, you can go with the 90, raise that mid-range to a 79 or a 78, and then throw the rest of the attributes either into the free throw, or you can even adjust the vertical or anything from the physicals even more. Now as you can see, I did go with the 72 acceleration, but you can raise this if you do decide to go that route. Or you can even upgrade your perimeter defense. Now, as far as when it comes down to the badge count that I came out with the defensive end, I think 24 is going to be more than enough. So that is one thing that I'm going to leave as is. Now, if you want to go with the 90 free throw, that's another option that you can go with. I'm going to leave it at an 80. I'm not going to touch anything else when it comes down to my mid-range or the three-pointer. Then for the acceleration, I'm going to go with the 76. 73 when it comes down to my strength, and I'm going to go ahead and lower my free throw just a little bit more so I'm able to bring my strength up to a 74. Now for the takeovers that we get are going to be the slashing. The second one, as you can see, we get the sharpshooting, playmaking, and then finally we're able to get that rim protecting. So the rim protecting alone is going to allow us to get a 100 plus block on this build. Now if you want to, you can go double offensive takeovers, or you can double up on the defensive end. Now the one that I would pick first, just to make this build better all around, is going to be sharpshooting limitless range takeover. Now for the second one, this really comes down to your playstyle and liking. I would go with paint intimidation over stuff blocks, because already with boost, we'll have a 95 plus block. Now, if you go with paint intimidation, I think this one's going to be better overall, especially when it comes down to upgrading the interior defense. Now, from here, let's go ahead and check out the build name. And as you can see, we get comparisons of Bam Adebayo, Jokic, as well as Pascal Siakam. And as you can see, we have created the first ever pass first big with contact dunks. Also going to be able to get the 100 plus pass accuracy, block, and a standing dunk. Now, if you enjoyed this build, be sure to go ahead and let me know in the comments and drop a like. What did you think about it? And if you would make any changes, I definitely want to know. But as far as for the badge counts, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of what we're going to work with. Now, let's go ahead and start out with the defensive end. Out of Tier 1, I was looking at Challenger, Glove, and Interceptor. Also went with Tier 2 Chase Down Artist, and then also Box Out Beast. For Tier 3, this really comes down to your own preference and liking. Now, when it comes down to the finishing, the main badges that I'm really looking at out of this area is honestly going to be Pro Touch on Hall of Fame. Then from there, I did go with Fearless Finisher and Posterizer on Silver. Now, I think out of the finishing, we had everything that we needed. But then when it comes down to the shooting, I made sure that we're able to get amped on gold out of this build. Mini Magician is going to be a huge one. And then when it comes down to Space Creator, this allows us to open up the floor even more, especially on the mid-range. Now, overall, as long as you went with the setup of the badge count, I think you're going to be good going forward with actually picking the badges yourself. But if there's a different way that you would go about the setup, be sure to go ahead and let me know in the comments. What would you change and why would you do it, so that way I can gain better perspective? Now, when it comes down to the playmaking, we're also going to be super strong out of this area. We're able to get every single badge when it comes down to tier 1. Now for tier 2, the main one that I was looking at was being able to at least get bronze, quick first step, and then out of tier 3, we're also able to get Diamond on Hall of Fame with Unpluckable. Now, out of all 4 categories, my favorite was definitely going to be the defensive, but also the playmaking. Now, if you made it to the end, man, go ahead and comment down TG for thank God, and I most definitely got y'all with a response. I appreciate your support, and again, I just want to say thank you, God, for another day and another opportunity. Now, before we get out of here, if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Comment down below, where did you tune in from watching today? Be sure to turn on post notifications and smash that like button. I would highly appreciate that. Again, I just want to say God bless y'all. Thank you for the support. And I got one last thing to say. Rich out.